Hello everyone. This is CLOVA TV. Today, the information I am going to give you is directly related to your health. As you all know, this is the news for COVID-19. For more than 7 months, we are very tired of the virus that threatens us. News about the safety and mass supply of vaccines or treatments to overcome COVID-19 is being delivered. But in reality, it will take a lot of time to come to a time when we will be comfortable taking and getting injections and not worrying about the safety or efficacy of the vaccine. News about when the vaccine will be available and the after effects of COVID-19 have already been announced by CLOVA TV in the last video. Please take a look at the serious sequelae of those who have recovered from COVID-19 below. In the meantime, there has been a lot of debate over whether wearing a mask can really help prevent infection with COVID-19. There are claims that masks help prevent infection as to how the virus enters our body, and claims that masks do not help prevent infection, but only give psychological stability. Here's a good article that you should definitely refer to on the mask-related debate. On August 24th, Bloomberg published an article worth ending the debate over masks. The title of the article is "Starbucks Cafe's COVID Outbreak Spared Employees Who Wore Masks." The incident took place at Starbucks in Paju, a city near Seoul, South Korea. Korea was recognized as a country that successfully performs very well in quarantine, recognized by many countries, including the WHO, regarding corona prevention. But until the illegal assembly organized by a Christian church on August 15th, most of the people who attended this rally are older people, and the media's investigation has suggested that the biggest reason for the rally was a planned protest to drive the Korean government into failing quarantine. If the Korean government fails to quarantine against COVID-19 and the daily lives of most of the people suffer, it will lead to a drop in approval ratings for the Korean government, which will help other political parties. Their intentions seem to be going very successfully. They deliberately refused the government's infection test, turned off mobile phones, and deliberately avoided contact with quarantine agencies, and didn't control activities without complying with the laws and regulations requiring people participating in this rally to self-isolate. The result is what happened this time at Starbucks in Korea. On August 8th, a confirmed COVID-19 visited Starbucks in Paju City and infected 27 people. A short visit from a patient with a confirmed virus resulted in the infection of 27 people indoors. Surprisingly, all of these 27 infected people were Starbucks guests. At Starbucks in Korea, about 10 people usually work. Nonetheless, none of the employees were infected. This is because, according to Starbucks Korea's work regulations, it is mandatory for employees to wear masks during working hours, and the employees who worked at that time faithfully followed this regulation. Bloomberg explained that this proved how quickly the virus can spread in confined indoor spaces, and that wearing a mask is a way to minimize the spread of COVID-19. Health authorities around the world are still debating the effectiveness of wearing masks, but this case is the definitive answer to the mandate to wear a mask. Arnold Boesman, a public health expert and founder of Transmissible, a Dutch-based company, said it would be one of the most important opportunities to study the risk factors for infection among people who are not under control. This case is considered to be a very good case. 4 experts studying the transmission of the virus and emphasized that it is of sufficient academic value. In the United States, where Starbucks is headquartered, the situation for COVID-19 is out of control. There is also an article stating that the staff was not properly trained and was arrested for spitting on a drink ordered by a police officer. This happened a month ago in New Jersey, USA, and the officer who received the spit drink complained that it is very anxious to think
that someone is intentionally spitting on someone else's drink in the midst of the spread of COVID-19. Starbucks in the US judged that stable store management was difficult, so they had only been selling takeouts from June. The incident led the Wall Street Journal to report that the incident would cause Starbucks to lose more than $2.6 billion in revenue in the third quarter alone. The Korean government has done very well in quarantine despite 3 crises over the past 7 months, and the Korean people have followed the guidance of the Korean government. During the last 3 crises in Korea, when the number of confirmed cases rapidly increased, the media reported criticizing that Korea's quarantine has finally come to a limit, but Korea has overcome well. However, this 4th crisis in Korea is very different from the previous crisis. This crisis is a planned action by some people with the intent of spreading COVID-19, and their ultimate goal is to reduce public support for the government by spreading the perception that the Korean government cannot prevent the spread of COVID-19. We wish Korea to overcome this crisis well. I think we have confirmed a very important fact through this case of infection in Starbucks. You must wear a mask indoors except your own home. Along with this, staying in your home as much as possible is the smartest way to do it in the absence of COVID-19 vaccines and treatments. Please stay at home. That's it for today's video. CLOVA TV will prepare the next video with even more informative news for you. If today's video was useful, please click
subscribe, like i alarm. Ostanite bezbedni i vidimo se u sljedećem videu. Hvala vam.